Peggy 18.
Horizon clearly is the single most ambitious project that Guerrilla Games has ever taken on. Our background tends to be that of a first-person shooter development, so the intense combat is in our DNA. So logically, when we start making this open-world action RPG game, it's filled with what we're good at, and that is intense combat.
It wasn't an easy transition going from Killzone to Horizon. It's a big leap. It's in some cases sort of 180-degree turn that we've done with the company, where we went from something that we knew very well to something that we knew very little about initially. And it's been 5 years of learning how these games work, how the systems work, how the designs of it works. The Decima engine is not a completely new engine. It's based on the Killzone engine, and all the strengths of that engine basically we've taken on board.
Also the combat with the Helghast, we came up with this hit reaction system where you could shoot them in the knee, they would fall down, and then you could shoot them again, shoot off the helmets, etc. So we added these layers of tactical opportunities for the player to add more depth and to make it also more fun. And that's one of the things that we've adopted for Horizon with building the combat with the machines. We try to expand it further because these machines are way more complicated, of course, than the Helghast.
We wanted something basically that people hadn't really seen before in RPGs, basically, where you could just literally go in there and physically take off individual armor plates.
The areas that needed most improvement in the engine, I think, were everything related to open world. So everything streaming, being able to draw like, tens of kilometers of view range, everything being so out of order. You can go anywhere at any moment, pick up anything. Everything is very dynamic.
We were primarily basically using very sort of outdated scripting tools, basically that allows you to make a very scripted experience, but didn't really allow you to make a large world. Our investment in tools was really important, making tools basically that allowed our artists and our designers to work very fast and create really high quality content at a very high pace.
Horizon is the first time we are creating quests, so we had to invest a lot in terms of technology, open world engine, etc., but also in assembling the team, hiring a writer's team, a quest design team, etc. So it's been a huge undertaking for the studio. Started working on the concept art for Horizon Zero Dawn, it was almost as if Aloy as a character kind of jumped out of the concept art. She was the ideal vessel, I felt, to explore this world, to unravel some of these great mysteries.
Years before we had her in the way that she is now in the game.
Praying won't save us. We have to find the killers.
It's such a massive, long, ongoing, iterative process, I would say.
Finally, when all the elements came together, you felt like, yeah, this is her, this is Aloy.
I think we've created and designed a very strong character that hopefully we'll see a lot more of.
I think it's really hard to design an iconic character. You can hope for it, but it's not something like, okay, that's it, put a stamp on it, it's iconic now.
There are people even within this building who they were feeling like is like, oh, how do we try to get something that's like to 90% of Nathan Drake?
Looking at the Killzone games, we were kind of doing it the wrong way around.
With Aloy, we had a protagonist now that is as strong and as iconic a character as the Helghast were as antagonists.
There's so many, I think, different layers also to designing a character. She's this combination of a voice actress, there's the face, there's the hair, we have the costume, there's how she moves, there's the dialogue that also adds to her character.
You can help, or you can get out of my way.
It's nice after so many years to have it out there and hear people, what they think about it, what they liked about it.
It's been super invigorating seeing the immediate response to Aloy as a character. I mean, in the cosplay scene, there's been such a huge interest in finding out more who she is.
It's very clear that, at least for these people, Aloy is already an iconic character.
To get that confirmation that we actually touch upon something that's relevant and people respond to it very positively, that's hugely positive for the team.
You've come a long way since the Citadel, Aloy.
Who are you?
An interested party.
A large part of what made her is the narrative itself, basically, that started shaping her as an identity, as a character. So ultimately, whether we give her red hair or blonde hair or dark hair isn't really that important. It's more that the character itself becomes iconic.
I don't think that there's anybody working at Guerrilla Games who hasn't fallen in love with Aloy. I mean, for us, she has become someone who feels like a real person.
The nice thing about our story, the way that it's written, is that she's emerging from the area that she's lived her whole life and going out into the big world along with you. So everything is just as new to her as it is to you. And you feel a real resonance with the character that way.
Aloy is, I think, a very appealing character, the way she looks, but more importantly, the stuff she can do. I mean, she's super agile, she's quick, she's very crafty, she's very strategic. She's a great person, a great companion to explore the world of Horizon Zero Dawn.
Where the trail leads, I will go.
Technical and graphical level, I think our team has very talented people already, trained by making the Killzone games. But on storytelling side, I think we were very far behind.
Well, for us during Horizon has definitely been new territory.
There's a much higher level of narrative and a focus on storytelling in this game that wasn't present. And so Guerrilla needed to have some different capabilities, different skill sets.
Why am I an outcast? Who was my mother?
The main pillars of this world were already there. We had the lush, verdant nature. We had these mechanical beasts that are like robotic dinosaurs, and also human beings who are living in this kind of more primitive or tribal state. And at that point, how exactly those elements had come to exist in this world together hadn't really been worked out.
For this game, we really said the story is one of the core pillars of the game. It's one of the most important bits. We need to get some external people, but have them work here on site and make a writer's team.
We brought in a lot of quest designers, a lot of talent that worked on open world games before, and of course our narrative director, John Gonzalez.
The philosophies of those new designers and those new engineers, basically, that came from different companies, have sort of basically has gotten into the way we think about making games.
We were able to really focus on the narrative of the game and really make sure that it's something that's really integral part of your gameplay experience.
When I arrived, John and his team had written the overarching narrative for the game and had an understanding of where the story was going to go, but it was written as a story, not as a series of quests. And so the quest team had the opportunity to work with the writers to break that story apart into smaller chunks, figure out where the gameplay would be, where the cutscenes would be, how it would all fit together.
Braves, to Aloy's side, now!
We've hired people for basically that have done these things before, that have written stories in open world games, that have scripted adventures in open world games, and all of that experience combined basically has allowed us to sort of grow as a company.
Identity confirmed.
Even if it destroys me, I will see this through.
People who are more mechanically focused can make suggestions for all sorts of ways to realize a concept that as writers we weren't thinking of. The same thing can be said of collaboration with art, other disciplines. Everybody who's working on a game is, to a certain degree, a storyteller. They're at least, involved in realizing that story as vividly as possible.
Guerrilla culture really hasn't changed that much over the years. It's a very ambitious culture. It's a fearless culture. We want to pursue the kind of games that we want to make, and I think quality is always key. The people that we bring in are very passionate, very quality led, and that goes for the old crew as well as for the new hires.
PS4 for the players.